by Mutual and Federal. The Kowie River in Port Alfred, home to the Mutual and Federal SA Universities boat race. The university's boat race started out as a simple challenge between Rhodes and UCT back in the 70s. So much for a two-horse race. 2005, no fewer than 37 crews took to the water. The sport of rowing is growing.
In 1991, we only had 12 crews. Now we have 37 crews. And we're almost going to have to start restricting it, but it's been fantastic.
To see all of these athletes down here, Rose, we've got over 35 eights here. That's well over 300 rowers, and also the supporters that have come down with them here for half a week. It really is fantastic to see here.
The men are rowing for the Cambridge rudder, Rhodes having been a dominant force in the 90s, but last year they had to play second fiddle to a very strong crew from Rau. In fact, Rau completed the double last year, with their ladies' crew winning the Isis Blade for a third time in a row, who would be victorious in 2005. You can never be quite sure about the weather in Port Alfred at this time of the year, but the conditions were perfect for the 26th edition of the boat race. The B crews having their fun in the sun on the Friday, and the Tuckies men too strong for the UJC crew in the battle for 7th and 8th place, and the Tuck supporters strong in voice too.
Put your right leg over my shoulder. Suck it like a sax boy. 2, 3 tucks, 2, 3 tucks, 2, 3 tucks, you day.
Also a good row from the UCT ladies to beat UJ and Maritzburg in the race for 7th place in the women's B division. And some international flair to this crew from UCT.
We've been in the heat. It was really cool, and now we won this one, so it's really nice.
It's been so awesome. It's been my first one, so I was really excited about it, and it went a lot better than I thought. So yeah, it's been cool.
The dress code for the boat race varies, or should I say varies. The Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University girls faring well, but they didn't have enough in the tank to beat the girls from Maritzburg in the battle for 5th and 6th. And Fort Hare getting the better of UCT in their battle for 5th and 6th in the men's B division. The university's boat race has been a stepping stone for many of South Africa's top rowers. Donovan Seck immediately comes to mind, and more recently Tony Paladin, who was a member of the Ra crew who won the men's title last year. Paladin now rowing for South Africa and competed in the lightweight fours at the recent World Champs in Japan.
At one stage, it really just felt like a really big boat race, but sitting on the start line, you realise that it's actually that one step bigger, and when you get down to representing your country, then it's something special.
We've just got that silver medal at Worlds, and our lightweights are moving up now, won the B final at Worlds. That puts them 7th, ranked 7th in the world. And it's from events like this that the guys start to learn that they've got to commit themselves to the training in order to aspire to that sort of level of competition.
So what is it that makes the sport of rowing so appealing?
In rowing, in essence, in itself, it's such a lovely sport, but it's just the people who do rowing, and the people are always here, and just basically the rowers are such lovely people. It makes such an awesome sport.
I think it's the most wonderful sport to develop a human being as a total human being. It's the ultimate team sport because if one of the crew members miss a beat, the whole crew is basically out.
This is the UJC crew. I'm the stroke, and this is my number 7. We had a very good race. It went well, and we're just looking forward to the next one next year.
A little overcast for the Saturday, but nothing could dampen the spirits of the rowers, or for that matter the spectators. And speaking of spirits,
Everyone here for such a good joy, and we here like good tri-varsity party. Everyone here is out dominating by roads was, but we NMMU, as you can see on the t-shirts. It's so awesome, and this is my older brother, and
I've never even been to university. And look at me.
And we're here in the spirit, and we absolutely love the vibe. It's absolutely beautiful.
That's what you call showroom condition. One of the first races of the morning, and what a race between Wits and Maritzburg in the battle for the men's B 3rd and 4th place. Maritzburg went out strong and enjoyed a lead of 3 to 4 boat lengths before Wits reined them in. Some very shrewd tactics from the Wits cox, Bronwyn Jackson. In the end, Jackson coxing the Witsies to a very comfortable victory. The boat race course is a tough one, with the men racing over 6 kilometers and the women 4.
It's a very tough course. It can definitely be won or lost by the line the cox takes. Key areas all along the course, probably for the men's race, is 2 k's into the race at the ladies' start. Very sharp bend to the left, and a lot of the coxers that don't know the river take that a little bit wide, get into the slow water, and lose a couple of lengths there. And also a lot of guys take short cuts and cross over sandbanks, and they get it wrong. They either knock their skegs off on the sandbanks, or they just paddle in shallow water, which is very slow water. A very, very technical course, and the cox plays a very, very large role in this race.
So could Jackson cox a repeat victory for Wits in the women's A race for 3rd and 4th? Wits up against the University of Johannesburg, who didn't make it into the final for the first time in 4 years. Another excellent race, with UJ winning by a very small margin.
It was a great race. It was very tight the whole way down. They pushed it. I don't think anyone gave up at any point, so it was great racing. Just sorry that we landed up on the downside of it.
On the upside though, you've got Mutual and Federal, great sponsors of universities rowing.
It's about helping develop a sport that probably doesn't get the same sort of recognition as other sports, but it takes just as much time from the people who compete in it. It's a hard sport. It's the epitome of teamwork, as you've probably seen on the water during the last couple of days. If one person's not working, the whole team fails or the whole crew fails. So it's something that we can associate with. We can see that teamwork is critical to the sport, and that is life. Everyone's got to be like that.
So we're very thrilled with the way it's going, helping us develop rowing from all aspects. We have development crews down from the local township, watching the race, going up, following it, learning about rowing, and we're thrilled with the whole way it's going.
Back to the rowing and the finish to the women's B final, Rhodes getting the better of Takis. The men's race, placing 7, 8 and 9, UCT, Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University and Durban.
Doctor, please acknowledge when I talk to you.
Almost as if the river isn't big enough for a 3-boat race, as a couple crews come close to clashing blades. Some work for the umpires.
Rowers, stay out of NMMU's water! Rowers, move across! Stay out of their water! UCT, you're out of your water, move across! UCT, move across!
And in the end, a victory for the UCT crew.
First things first, to enjoy it. Next thing, to believe that you can do it. Looking around, I've seen so much amazing talent. It's actually frightening, and everyone always thinks that we're not quite there, but I think we are, and we actually need to believe that, and the students need to believe that, and our youngsters coming out of the schools need to believe that, and just commit to a 1 or 2 year plan, get training, get in the vibe, and we'll surprise ourselves of how well we can actually do.
More races finishing up before the 2 big A finals, UJ beating Rhodes in the men's B final. And Peter Maritzburg beating Stellenbosch for the men's A, 5th and 6th place. Now to the women's A final between Rhodes and UCT. The toss considered very important to see who gets which bank at the start.
Choose socks. East bank, west bank. Okay, happy. Chaps, just get on the water early, please. Okay.
In a race like this, when the tide is low like this, I think, you know, it's a 4-kilometer race, so at the end of the day, it depends who hits it hard the first 500 meters, so we'll see.
The Rhodes girls have been rowing very well up until now. What are you expecting?
Expecting a really tough race. UCT has come through in leaps and bounds, and I'm sure they're going to offer us a really good race, and it's going to be exciting.
So Rhodes got the favourable East Bank, and they were off to a good start as well. Going into the first corner, Rhodes holding position well and enjoying a small lead over UCT. The UCT crew rode exceptionally well in the heat to keep UJ out of the final, and they were now determined to beat the more fancied Rhodes 8. Rowing for UCT were Tammy Zeman in the bow, Sarah Chandler, Nadine Oosthuizen, Vicky Chamberlain, Red Demblom, Taryn Smuts, Heather McKenzie and Cheryl Hudson the stroke. For Rhodes, the crew was Rose Thornycroft the bow, Brianni Peel, Barbara Cooper-Thwaite, Haley Arthur, Tara Bowden, Sandra Burke, Sasha Stevenson and Bridget Ellender the stroke. A couple boat lengths between the crews now, with UCT fighting to keep pace with Rhodes. But with Rhodes enjoying the clean water, disaster almost struck. They ended up too close to the bank on the west side of the river and had to battle back through the shallow waters, and UCT made up a lot of ground. Through the Bay of Biscay and the wreck, Rhodes managing to restore their lead of about 2 boat lengths. And then into the home straight, victory in sight for Rhodes. Could UCT find one last surge? Just too much for UCT to do at the end. Rhodes winners of the 2005 women's boat race and regaining the Isis Blade, something that had eluded them for the last 4 years.
Wow, feels amazing.
It's a month of hard work, huh?
Oh, it's been years. Finally, Rhodes has brought it home. Finally.
Rosanna,
To the men's final, Rhodes up against the defending champions UJ.
It's tails, which means that Rhodes gets to choose the bank. East Bank, and you guys are on the West Bank. Have a good race. Try and get on the water as soon as possible, please. Okay, have a good
You then after basically, we have a race plan. We're going to work to that race plan, and we're comfortable with that bank.
What do you
ready
expect?
to go.
What are you expecting from the finals?
It's going to be a good race. It's going to be a close race, and both crews are going to give it horns, give it their best shot.
It's always, they say it's hard to get to the top, harder to stay there. But the guys are fired up, looking forward to it, ready to go.
So Rhodes had the favourable East Bank, but they were underdogs against a UJ crew that looked invincible, and from the start Rhodes would be playing catch-up. In the Rhodes boat, Bradley Smith, Kevin Aitchison, Samuel Wells, Cameron Bellamy, Phil Brearley, Alex Cruikshanks, Ben Whitfield and Andrew Craig, and they were definitely up against it. Meanwhile, rowing for UJ, Grant Salier, Andrew Stockwell, Kevin Milan, Richard Gilfillan, Dean Kearns, Ed Channing, Pete Lambert and Ross Hawkins. UJ very impressive and pulling further and further away with every stroke. By halfway it looked as if it was all over, UJ just too strong for the rodents. Plenty of support for the Rhodes crew along the banks of the river, but they were up against a UJ crew, one of the best in the country. Credit to the Rhodes boys never giving up, but UJ going on to win rather comprehensively.
Domination.
Feels great, I won't lie.
So UJ repeating as men's champions, and Rhodes regaining the women's title from UJ.
I really think that this has been one of the special ones. We've had so many crews here. They've all competed, all rowed really, really well. We were well looked after by the weather this year. We had 3 beautiful days, and I think it made for excellent rowing. The spectators had a great time, the rowers have had a great time, and yeah, this event's here to stay and to grow and to grow.
And as far as the rowers go, it doesn't get much better than boat race.
Wonderful racing. As usual, wonderful event.
How long did it take to do your hair like that?
About an hour and a half of excruciating agony.
All the birds fly happy and all the birds are free. We never, never quarrel and we never disagree.
Oh, it was fantastic. Awesome. It was awesome. Oh, it was great fun. It's tough, good fun, and the rewards now. So we can have a good party and enjoy it all the way.
Race a turn right off. Boat race, Elvis.
Oh, awesome, man. You can't get anything better than this. Something like you can recommend to all varsity students. Come and chill down here for Alfred.
It's been very nice.
Two arms, two legs, one hairy dog. Under the Southern Cross we stand. Naked to this foreign land. Johannesburg, you've kicked up your day.
No idols potential amongst this bunch, but hey, they're rowers, dude. Bring on Boat Race 2006. This program was brought to you by Mutual and Federal.